Okay, here we go. This is kind of the spur of the moment. I was talking with Rob 741 channel this morning about ways to do live shows, and then later on today I was thinking about, what things that you might be interested in me doing as far as shows in the future. And I made a little short slideshow to give you some ideas, and we could discuss it. And I just decided to go live, so I didn't schedule this. That's kind of typical for me for not scheduling things. So I don't know if anybody will show up for the live show, but it's worth a try. And I'll probably go back and forth as people come on, so if they missed parts of the beginning, then they can catch up. Um, but I'm trying a program that you can use to live stream directly to YouTube. And I used it a couple of years ago, and I had a little problem with streaming live to YouTube. And so I just quit using it. I was like, okay, forget it. And Rob, when we were talking this morning, Rob 741 channel, about programs and stuff to use to stream live, Rob brought up this program again. This is Streamyard. You can see the little icon up there in the corner there, upper right-hand corner. And like I say, I used it before and I liked it. It was simple to use. That's the main thing. It was simple to use. And it would directly stream to YouTube. And so I thought, well, let's try it again today. Just kind of a spontaneous show and see how it works. I don't expect a lot of people to show up because I didn't schedule it, didn't announce it or anything. I see we got one comment. That's the other thing I like about StreamYard is the comments are right on the same page as me looking at what I'm broadcasting. So instead of having to have, two computers or two monitors, which I do have now, two monitors, it makes it a lot easier. And I got a comment from Four Wheels Camper. He's from Colorado. Well, thanks for stopping by. You helped me out here. I'm looking for inputs here about what kind of shows to do in the future. I would like to do more live shows. And the reason I like live shows is I get inputs from the viewers via the chat. And that's kind of what my channel is about. I'm no expert, so I'm always looking for inputs, other things that I haven't thought about, corrections when I make a stupid mistake. I do that a lot nowadays. So that's the beauty of doing a live show. Now, I've been doing shows with Rob 741. We've been doing live shows, and he's been, I'll call it the producer, because he knows how to run Zoom. And I'm still struggling with Zoom because Zoom doesn't stream directly to YouTube. You have to go through a program like OBS and run both programs. So it's a little meticulous of getting it to work properly. So I see, wow, I got 13 watchers. I thank everybody for stopping by. This is just kind of off the cuff. I'm testing StreamYard, the streaming software, once again. I used it, several years ago, and I had a problem, so I quit using it. Anyway, so we're going to go on, and I'm going to try to share a little 2-page slide show, and we're going to try to talk about that. So here we go. I'm going to try to share. Share button. Share screen. And now I've got 2 monitors that makes it easier, so I can share my main screen, which I've set up the slideshow. So here it goes. And now I can see on my second monitor, I can see what you're seeing. So I have some idea what the heck is going out. So let me hide this. Well, I'm going to leave it up because I'm not sure how to turn it off. Yeah, it's on the other page. Okay, so I'm going to hide this, get it out of the way. So let's go to the next slide. There's the next. Now that's what we want to talk. Oh, hey, 741. Yours must be ringing because I was talking about you. And what I'm doing, Rob, is we talked about using StreamYard again since they had upgraded the software. So I thought, what the heck, I was going to try it out and just start streaming. And I didn't set up a schedule or anything and just start streaming. So the topics I want to talk about today in this stream is what kind of shows you're looking for. I'm thinking about future shows, and I'm looking for inputs via the chat, or if you watch this show later after the stream is over, I'm looking for comments. So what kind of shows are you looking for? Are you looking for more radio reviews? Now, I'm struggling with that right now. One of the reasons is Jeff King, who loads me radios out of his collection. I haven't gotten a new set, which I understand, he's busy and he has to travel. He brings me the radios. You believe it or not, he drives from Jacksonville down to Clearwater in the Tampa Bay area and brings me these radios out of his collection. So I don't complain when I don't get a new set right away. So that's fine. So that's one source of older radios to review, is radios from his collection. I pretty much have reviewed all my old radios from my collection. So I've kind of burnt out right now. New radios, I've talked about several new radios, the new Sangean, the new Texan radios. I'm hopefully going to get the new Texan 501 radio. They one of the sellers promised when they get one in, they would send it to me. So I'm hoping that's coming in. I've been doing a number of reviews on cheap radios and kind of burn out on those cheap radios. Especially right now, since shortwave listening conditions are poor, if you don't have a good radio and a good antenna, you're not going to receive hardly anything. So that's one thing. I'll continue to search for radios to review. The next thing that Rob and I talked about this morning is I'm getting a number of questions from people that are new to shortwave listening and are new to ham radio. And I think the reason that's happening is because of this virus thing, and people are shut in. And so they're looking for hobbies. And shortwave listening and ham radio is certainly a good hobby to get into. You can, do it in your house and don't have to go anywhere. So I'm thinking about maybe doing some guides on getting started. What do you need to get started? What frequencies should you be listening to, even now when band conditions are not too good? When should you listen? What time of the day? What time of the week? Those types of things. The next possible topic is antennas. I've done several shows on my antennas, which I just briefly showed you. I could do a show on what I think my best antennas are for a given band, HF band, VHF, whatever. Could do that. Next one could be how to improve your listening. What can you do to your setup to improve it? Do you need a better radio? Do you need a better antenna? Do you need to move to a different location? I mean, temporarily, to a different location like a park or something? That's another topic. Again, I'm looking for inputs from you guys of what you think. As I mentioned before, I've done a number of live shows with Rob, and that's worked out really well. Unfortunately, Rob's really busy, so he doesn't have a lot of time to do that. I talked to him this morning, and we said we were trying to do at least one live show together a month. That's our goal. So we'll continue to do that if possible. Another possibility is, and I don't know how successful I'll be in getting people to respond for my quest for doing interviews. I've got 2 people lined up that, again, I'm trying to get the streaming thing working good so that I can do a live interview with them and see, what equipment they have, what they do, and stuff like that. So that's another possibility. Let me check the chat room. 741 says it looks like it's working. Yeah, it does. The question is, Rob, am I going to get in that problem I had before with uploading it to YouTube? I did do a private, just a little test, and that uploaded okay. It was private, so the problem I had before is with public ones. So I'm hoping this will work. And this is the trial, because like I said before, Streamyard for me is very easy to use. Okay, the next one is Mike in Hawk, ham radio operators participating in social distancing since before it was cool. Yeah, that's why I think I'm getting newbies, I'll call them, not to be negative, but people who are looking for hobbies they can do in home without intermingling with people. And ham radio certainly is that, and shortwave listening certainly is that. Okay, the last possibility is to do live shows, question and answer shows. And probably what I would do there is accumulate, say, for a week or so, questions that I've gotten on my other shows, comment in the form of comments, and just go over those because most of the questions I get are questions that a lot of people have, that just as one person. And just giving an answer back in a comment, everybody does not get to see the question or the comment. So maybe do a question and answer live show. Okay, let me see how many. We got another comment from Mike. Oh, he said he liked when I showed all my old radios and police scanners. And the other thing that came to mind when I was starting this stream, because with this setup, I'm using a webcam, and the resolution is not that great. I think it's the highest is like 720 at best. And my cell phone, even though it's not brand new, it's about 3 or 4 years old, does an excellent job of videos. And I've used that a lot nowadays when I'm doing offline videos. And so I was thinking, I wonder if I can run Streamyard on that cell phone and use that camera. And then, just as you asked, then I could go walking around my office and my Radio Shack and even outside showing my antennas. So yeah, that's a good suggestion. Okay, I'm looking for other suggestions of shows to do in the future. Radio reviews, get starting guides, and what Rob and I talked about this morning is do a series of getting started guides. Antennas again, from the very basic antennas, the long wire antenna, to antenna arrays, which I have 2 beam antennas that I don't use them now. I used for working satellites on the amateur bands on satellites. Unfortunately, my rotor, which both goes up in elevation and across the horizon, doesn't work anymore. And you have to have something like that to track the satellite as it goes overhead. So, and then how to improve listening in general. So those are some things that I'm thinking about doing. I'm looking for suggestions. what kind of shows you're looking for. And like I say, if you didn't get to watch this live because I did not announce it, then watch it after the fact and leave comments about on these topics or which ones you'd like to hear about and me to do shows on. Let's see what we got. We got a hello from Romania. All right. Yeah, that's the one thing about doing shows later in the day. I get a lot of listeners or viewers from Europe, and because of the time difference. Alrighty, I think I'm about talked out. The main thing I wanted to do here is see if the updated version of Streamyard will work any better than the one I used before, and I had a little problem with the uploads to YouTube because it's uploading live to YouTube, and that's the beauty of it. I don't have to run any other software like OBS. I don't have to set up the stream on YouTube. I just start streaming and it goes up. So that's why you're seeing this show on YouTube is StreamYard is streaming it directly to YouTube. I don't know what the delay is. I could figure that out in a few minutes, but I don't want to fool with it. Let me see what we got. Hey, Nick is here. How about doing some outside DXing in the park you have done in the past? That's a good point. And especially now that the weather really has warmed up in Florida. It's in the low 80s today in the beautiful weather. So I don't have the excuse where it's too cold outside or it's raining. So yeah, I'll write that one. Matter of fact, I'll write that down right now before I forget. And I'll call it In the Park Shortwave Listening. That's a good one. That's a good suggestion. I enjoyed doing those shows. I now have a better cell phone, and so I don't have to use that antique camcorder that I used to give me super low resolution. So that's a good suggestion. See what else we got. Okay, Mike says antennas would be a good topic to discuss. Also, discuss what a newbie shortwave listener should look for in a radio and some of the terms. Yeah, Mike, that's exactly what this one right here is. Getting started guides. And I've been thinking that, as a matter of fact, I talked to Rob about that this morning, if he knew of any recent books for people that are just getting into shortwave listening. I've done reviews of some of the old Radio Shack books, but they don't cover a lot of the technology nowadays. They didn't cover SDRs. They don't cover some of the new ham radio functions, doing digital stuff. So I'm looking for, and Rob said he would look for, as a new book, or maybe I'll just do it from scratch and generate this series of shows of getting started. And as you mentioned, what's a good radio to start with as a newbie? You know, maybe you just want to find out if you want to do this. So maybe you don't want to spend a lot of money up front, and antennas and things to worry about, interference and noise, RF noise, stuff like that. Yep. Okay, now we got some people that are jumping into the chat. I appreciate that. Bigger 7769, did you buy that small radio? Now, which one are you talking about? There's like 3 or 4 radios I'm looking at right now. I think you're talking about that Pertivas radio. I think it's TR105. Let me know. Okay, Nick says, yeah, that's what hooked me to your channel. Yeah. Yep. I definitely enjoy doing those and getting outside, going to a local park, getting away from the RF noise. Um, I still have my fiberglass telescopic fishing pole that I can get a long wire up antenna about 13 feet in the air, which helps. And I still got that set up. And I've got several new radios that I haven't really done outside testing. As a matter of fact, I have several cheapo radios, we're talking about under $30, that would, the shortwave reception, I'm thinking, would greatly be improved if I got away from my house and all this RF noise, and probably could do a lot better. The key thing to doing those shows is what time of day to do them. I prefer to do them first thing in the morning when it's cool, because it's quickly warming up here in Florida. But sometimes certain stations, such as in Europe, don't come in until the afternoon, late afternoon. But I could always just do it in my backyard, and I've done some in my backyard. Could try that. Okay, let me go with the chat here. I appreciate everybody chatting here. Four-wheel camper. I'm looking for antenna ideas. And while in the he's in the for antennas for in the backcountry. Yeah, four-wheel. I did a couple of shows on what I call portable antennas, and the one I was just mentioning before is one that I kind of made by, I got a 13-foot telescopic fishing pole. I attached the wire to the tip, and then with some bungee cord, I mounted temporarily the antenna to, in this case, it was a stake, a 2x2 or 2x4 stake that was in the ground in the park I was at. And then I plugged that into my portable antenna, and that worked great. The longer, the better, of course. Yeah, big 7769. Yeah, I have not bought that radio yet. Every time I look at a different video, I get a different response. Todderbert really liked it, and Jill's really hated it. And then I saw a couple other videos of those two people reviewed one that was just like it, but it had a different brand on it, but it was the same radio. And so by using that brand, I've found several videos now, and I'm getting mixed reviews. Some say it's okay, some say it's great, some say, like in Gillis's point of view, he thought it was a piece of junk. And maybe it's something to do with the quality control. Maybe it varies from radio to radio. So I'm kind of on the fence. I'm thinking about getting one. I also crossed my mind is some of those people that left comments on my channel, on my videos that I've done, and said it was a piece of junk. I'm about to ask them, if you think it's a piece of junk, would you send it to me so I can see if it's a piece of junk instead of buying one? That crossed my mind. Anyway, Simon Temple, just dropping in for a minute. The heads up on the condition on the bands is always worth a few minutes. When sunspot's coming back, it should, whoop, it jumped up. Where'd it go? Should begin varying again. Yeah, I agree, Simon. I'm trying not to do too many videos too soon about that, because that gets kind of old. I try to, in my videos, tell you where you can find the band conditions, what websites and stuff. But once it jumps up again, it was was in the low 80s. I think it just dropped down to 79 today. But once it makes a jump, I'll do another show. Like if it jumps to the high 80s, I'll definitely do a show. All right, that's a good suggestion. Stephen, perhaps the subject would be what to listen to for besides shortwave broadcasts, since it seems most shortwave broadcasts are religious stations and a little political. Yes, I've done some shows on that. Matter of fact, let me see. I think we're through with that slideshow. Hold on a second. I might break everything. Here we go. Okay, let's close the slideshow. I'm through with that. Save. Yeah, save it. Okay. Stand by where my computer catches up. Okay. No, I had it here. Had it open up. Let me see if I can find it again real quick. Oh, I'll do a history. Let's see. Look. Bear with me. All this is live. Whoops. Come on. Stay open. Where's the history? Stay open now. Stay open. Here it is, right here. Okay. One thing I was looking at is what's called MWARA, and that is HF transmissions from aircraft, commercial aircraft, when they're going across the oceans. And I haven't listened to that in a while. It's kind of interesting sometimes it's not. And so I don't know if I can go back from here. Here's a web page. This is on wikiradioreference.com. And this is some other things you can listen to. And I've done short shows on most of this stuff. One of them was interesting that I haven't gone back to is balloon operation. And I don't mean the commercial balloons. I'm talking about like weather balloons and stuff like that. I mean, there is a whole following of amateur radio operators that put up balloons and then track it. And there's a web page. I did a show on this. There's a web page that shows you where these balloons are and whether they're coming over your area. And of course, they go up, and then they get in the upper winds, and they get pulled across the world. And they got little transmitters transmitting where they're at, their location. And then they come down, and there's no predicting where they're going to come down. So I watched that for a while to see if any were coming down near me, and I didn't see any, but I might go do another show on that. Oh, wow. We get caught up here. Nikolai says, I really like the fact that you reviewed small portables such as the D-808. I hope to see more videos with that. That particular radio belongs to Jeff. That's one of the loaners. He's loaned to me. I still have it because we haven't exchanged radios again. So I could do some more because I do have that radio. And I could use that radio for the previous suggestion was to do some listening in the park. And because I wasn't too impressed with the shortwave reception of that radio, and Jeff was like, it worked fine for me. So it was pretty much obvious that my noise environment was just killing that radio, and I need to get away from my noise environment. So that's a good suggestion. Matter of fact, I'm going to write that down. I need to write more of these down because I'll forget. Let me see. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I know what I'll do. Instead of holding you up, I will go back and look through the chat after the fact and write down all these good suggestions you guys are putting out. That's what I'll do. Okay. Yeah, other portable radios as well. Yeah, that's what I was said before. Is I may take a couple of radios, these little I'll say under $50 radios, probably ones above 25, but under 50. Maybe, take about 3 or 4 of them to the park and do some shortwave listening testing in that environment away from noise. Okay. Stephen asked, how well would a low height temporary one work? And it's surprising how well they work. My little portable test antenna, which, like I said, is a 13-foot telescopic fiberglass fishing pole, that really improves reception. I mean, it basically doubles. I mean, I can take a radio and scan the shortwave band and get nothing. And then I can connect that just long piece of wire up 13 feet in the air vertical and get a bunch of stations. Now, right now, that might be a problem because band conditions are so poor. Even on my 31-foot antenna, I'm struggling. So, yeah, Stephen, I think you mean 808. The R808 does not have single sideband. The other radio that I really, really like, and I think Rob likes it too, matter of fact, he told me this morning he liked it, is the Texan PL660 and or I have the 680, which is a little bit better, not a lot better, a little bit. Those are nice radios, but they're $120. So they're above $100. Mark Schmidt, hey, Mark, how you doing from Maine? Glad you stopped by. 7769 asked, do I have a Pro 206? If you do, what do you think of it? I'm trying to remember what the Pro 206 is. Well, we look it up. Stand by. My memory is failing, so you have to bear with me. Radio Shack Pro. I think I know what it is, but I always want to be sure before I say something dumb. Yes, I do have that radio, but it does not work. This is the second time it's failed, and I was able to fix it myself the first time, but it does not work presently. And it was, when it was working, it was a great scanner. It was my best scanner when it was working. So I really like that scanner. Now, it's kind of outdated, so it doesn't do all the digital functions and stuff like that. But for a basic scanner, yeah, it was very sensitive and worked quite well. Two things, I think Rob has one, because I think he mentioned to me that on his, I believe it was this one, and Rob, you'll have to correct me if you're still here, the display went blank, and mine had an internal problem. Okay, let's see what else we got. I'm going to try to keep up. 741. I have one. Yeah, I thought you did, because I remember seeing it in the background. Okay, we're down to Stephen. Remember, yeah, Gary, 2 hands in a radio. His were very good because he was out in the field with low noise floor. Absolutely. And I am really sorry that Gary gave up, because he did a lot of reviews and of the full spectrum of radios. And he saved me quite a bit of money because he reviewed a lot of these inexpensive radios and showed that they were just junk. And so I had it on my buy list, and I used to get off my buy list. I really miss Gary. Don't don't get caught up in the trap hoping to pay for the radios to review. With yeah, that ain't gonna happen, Stephen. I think maybe I make like 50 cents or something on a given video, short term. Yeah. You're not going to make any money on YouTube doing radio reviews. Now, if you want to make money in big bucks, review games. Whoa, that's the one they get thousands of views in the first hour, and that's where you get the revenue. My typical show in the first 24 hours gets about 200 to 400 views. So you're not going to get rich on that. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Stephen. Okay, let's see where we are. Generation. Greetings from Israel. Boy, sorry about that. Israel. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, I think we're about caught up. I didn't schedule this. It's one of my bad habits is I just think of an idea and I just go online. My initial purpose of this show was to try the Streamyard application to do live streaming on YouTube. And it seems to be working. The real proof of the pudding will be if it has any problems saving it to YouTube. That's the problem it had before, is it didn't do exactly what YouTube people wanted it to do, so they would delete the show. So hopefully that's not a problem. Hopefully they fix that. It's been out for a long time. I read when I started that they've been bought out by a bigger company, so hopefully it doesn't have those problems it had before. I really liked it because it's so easy to use. It's so easy to have people on your show. I don't know if there's a limit how many people you can have, whether it's just 2 or not. And it's free, and there's a paid version. I think that you get more capability with the paid version. And I think I don't know what the limit is. I'm looking at the screen down here at the bottom on my screen of this Streamyard controller, and I see an icon that shows 3 people. So maybe you can have more than 2 people. I don't know. I have to test that. So I think I'm about done. And I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Again, this was unannounced. It's basically a test. And plus, I wanted to get information about what kind of shows to do in the future. And I think it's a wrap. So thanks for stopping by, and have a great day. And I'll let the stream run for a few more seconds to see if anybody else has any more comments, and then we'll shut it down. So I'm going to stop screen sharing. And there's my ugly face. And let's see. Oh, okay. We get some more comments. Four-wheel camper. Thanks, Tom. You're very welcome. Thanks for stopping by and giving me comments. Stephen, same thing. Stephen, thanks for stopping by. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Simon, thanks for this unexpected show. Yep. Like I said, I've got this bad habit of just starting a stream and not scheduling things. 741, see you later. Yeah, thank you, 741, for all your help. 741 and I discussed this morning, and that's what gave me a little confidence to try it out. And Generation, thank you also for stopping by. So that's it. Catch you later. Bye-bye.